So this tape will go online if you ever forget how to do green screen or need a review on how to do green screen. So the basic steps are you take whatever you're going to put on the bottom first. So you're going to do your background layer. In this case, I'm going to use the Asylum first. I'm going to pop it down. Some of you guys have done this by accident before. But then you take your green screen layer and you layer it on top. You'll immediately notice, however, that I can't see my bottom layer. That's because we have to activate the green screen. So when you click on your green screen, your video at the top, you'll notice you have a bunch of buttons up here like normal. But we have a new button that we haven't seen before. It's over here at the top. It's this one that looks like two squares on top of each other. This allows for layered compositions. So for instance, I can do green. I can do things like opacity and reduce the opacity so that he's see-through. Or I can do things like green and blue screen. And you'll notice, now that I've activated that, I have him in that asylum. But notice, my bottom layer isn't equal to my top layer. So if my bottom layer runs out, notice my top layer just turns black. So make sure you've got something that you can stretch out so that it matches your green screen layer. This is why when you're using this, pictures are often best. Why? Because they're as long as you need them to be. You can stretch out a picture infinitely long if you want to.
Is there a way to crop him into the background?
Crop him into the background? What do you mean?
Put him in a certain place.
So,
This conference, please call the main office.
that's a good question, Alfonso. Cropping him into a certain place is a little bit harder. The issue, usually when you're doing that, you just have to have your actor, put somewhere. Like, for instance, if I wanted him behind this counter over here, I'd have to actually have a green object in front of him that he could walk behind. It's really hard to put an actor behind an object without a physical green object in front of them. So that's why, for instance, if you saw the Alice in Wonderland green screen effects that were in that sample video, they had her leaning against a green banister. And then they put images over it. So usually that's a matter of shooting. You have to plan out your shoot in such a way where if you need them to be behind something, you have a green object they can walk behind. When it's already shot, it's a little too late to do that without going almost like frame by frame, which you really don't want. Now there is an option called split screen, but that I'm not sure if you can use split screen and green screen at the same time. Split screen requires you to have like two different things. So notice if I activate split screen, I can see Shia LaBeouf on one side and the background on the other. This is a good way to, for instance, put yourself in a movie with yourself if you want to play twins. This is how they did, not Sister Act. Sister Act is Whoopi Goldberg as a nun. What's it called? It's not Freaky Friday because that's where they switch, but it's another one of Parent Trap. There we go. Parent Trap, where Lindsay Lohan, before she went crazy, is playing her own twin. Split screen is how they did most of that effect, and all that is make sure you don't cross the median line. But today, green screens. So keep that in mind. You should have a practice one done by the end of the day just so that you know how to do the effect. After you do that and after you get me just to take a look at it, I can check it off. Tomorrow, we'll be planning a shoot with the green screen. So you may also want to start thinking about where you want to put you or one of your friends in the future. Once you're done with your green screen practice, you can finish out your dialogue, get that turned in, or you can play around further with green screens. If you already have an idea and just want to play around with a video, we can set up the green screen in the corner and just have you guys start shooting green screen effects and playing around with putting yourself in different locations. Questions at this point? Okay, I'm going to pause. I'm going to stop.